Welcome to the TMNtv Newscast for Wednesday, February 27, 2019. Stay tuned for the latest news at Fort Hays State University and around Northwest Kansas and the nation. I am Lauren Davis, and Jenna Hawley will be here shortly with a look at what's going on around the globe. And Haley White will fill you in on what's happening in the sports world. But first, here's what's making news in Tigerland. Have you had enough snow yet? If not, you're in luck, because it won't be warming up very much in the next few days to melt the nearly 8 inches of snow Hays received last weekend. Temperatures have remained below or right at the freezing mark in the region, and that trend will continue the rest of the week as the piles of snow stay in place. While temperatures are expected to be in the mid to upper 30s on Friday, there is a chance for the more heavy snow Saturday with a high near 17. The snow is expected to continue into Sunday with a high near 11. The cold temperatures and snow have made for difficult travel conditions in the area, even on streets and roads that have been cleared. The weekend snowstorm forced several highways to be closed while road crew were tasked with clearing them. Crews are hoping this weekend's expected snow is light enough to not cause any travel delays. In a recent interview with TMN reporter Corey Lynn, Student Government Association President Adam Scheibe talked about what the organization has planned for the remainder of the semester. One of the main items, along with allocations and student elections, the SGA will be working on is the university strategic plan. Scheibe said he and the senators will be working closely with President Tisa Mason to help the university grow.
The strategic plan, it's been something that has been in the works for a couple years, and then obviously with President Mason finally coming into the position last year, she really wanted to take it upon us to really start to bring that to life. The strategic plan is looking at, it can work from anywhere from 5 to 10 years and how the institution can go forward. We're looking at about a plan up to about 2025 of how the institution is going to continue. And it looks from every angle of what are we doing well to what can we do better and what should we be doing that we aren't doing.
It is hoped the strategic plan will set FHSU on the right step for the future while helping in academic success and facility needs. Another item Scheibe said SGA will be focusing on in the near future is a big event, which is scheduled for April 13th throughout Hays. The big event is a community-wide service project where senators and other volunteers help with many projects throughout the city. Some in the past have included cleaning up Big Creek, volunteering at Sternberg Museum of Natural History, and yard work throughout Hays. SGA Community Relations Director Jackie Doherty said more volunteers are needed, and the deadline to volunteer is fast approaching.
Hi, I'm Jackie Doherty, the Community Relations Director for the Student Government Association. We are in the process of planning our 9th annual big event, which will be hosted on Saturday, April 13th, in partnership with the FHSU Foundation during I Heart FHSU Week. The big event has been hosted on college campuses all across the nation, and last year we had over 160 volunteers, and we hope to expand that even more this year by including community members, faculty, and staff. We encourage you to apply and work alongside your friends. For volunteers, we are offering morning, afternoon, and all-day long shifts, and those who volunteer all day long will be entered into a scholarship raffle sponsored by the Fort Hays State University Foundation of $200. For those working the afternoon and all-day long shifts, please join us afterwards for the UAB-hosted after party in the quad. Volunteer applications are due March 15th, which is during spring break, so sign up early so you don't forget. Throughout the day, there will be a multitude of projects, so no matter your areas of interest, we will have something for you. Community service hours will be documented for your organizations. Just a few examples of projects done in the past have been serving in the university garden, cleaning up Big Creek, and helping out Sternberg Museum. If you have any questions, please call our office at 785-628-5311 or come down and visit us in the Memorial Union, office 017. We hope you will join us Saturday, April 13th to show our Tiger Pride throughout the community. Go Tigers!
One fraternity on campus is looking forward to continuing its growth in numbers in the community. TMN reporter Emily Binnensdorf says Alpha Gamma Rho is in its 11th year on campus. AGR is a fraternity for FHSU males who have an interest in agriculture. This year, the men in the fraternity have taken an initiative to keep the brotherhood strong and learn more about each other. The chapter has been trying to get more involved in the community as well as on campus. To learn more about AGR and to read Emily's full story, visit tigermedianet.com. Allison Railsback, a Mankato senior majoring in agriculture education at FHSU, placed first in all 5 events in which she competed at the recent Kansas Pi Beta Lambda State Leadership Conference in El Dorado. Railsback completed in business decision-making, administrative technology, desktop publishing, small business management, plan, and future business executive. She qualified to attend the National Leadership Conference this summer in San Antonio. Railsback also was recognized as a Kansas PBL Who's Who recipient and for completing her team as a state communications officer. When we return from this short break, Jenna will be here with news from around the globe.
I think there's a perception out there that web and mobile application development is this field where you sit behind a computer all day and code. And that's not it at all, right? And there's even a perception out there that geek is bad. But I think students should embrace their inner geek. We don't code all day. We look at issues, we look at problems, and try to figure out the pieces of the puzzle and how to put them together to build things.
I was able to learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, just kind of the whole 9 yards with that. So I really enjoyed the full program that they offered here.
Anything that you're interested in, the field of web and mobile application development, there's a value to. There's nothing like what we have in the informatics department. If you choose to take everything in the buffet that we offer, you'll be very well prepared for any type of job opportunity that's out there.
Hello Tigers, I'm Jenna Hawley and here's what's going on around the globe. President Donald Trump has repeated false claims regarding voter fraud and the border wall, as well as rejected his attacks on journalists and Democrats were violent. The president has repeatedly described the media as the enemy of the people. Trump was asked whether he should watch the way he speaks after a white supremacist Coast Guard officer was charged with plotting to kill several prominent public figures. During a press conference in the Oval Office, Trump offered his thoughts about suspect Christopher Paul Hasson and said, "I think it's a shame. It's a very big thing when a small thing like this happens." His comments contrast with his response to the allegations of actor Jussie Smollett faking being a victim of a racist and homophobic attack in Chicago. According to Business Insider, Trump also told reporters that he believed the border wall would go ahead after his declaration of a state of national emergency. He claimed, "Everyone knows we need a wall. We have apprehended more people than we have in many years." The number of people trying to enter the United States has decreased from 1.6 million to 400,000. Trump was then asked why he has yet to condemn voter fraud in North Carolina. He replied by citing supposed cases of voter fraud in California, Florida, and Texas. His claims appear to be based on a Facebook post that went viral. The post was about millions of illegal votes being cast in California back in November, as well as votes being added illegally in Florida after Election Day, and tens of thousands of non-citizens who were on the electoral roll in Texas. There has been no voter fraud found in any of those cases. The House of Representatives has passed a resolution to overturn President Donald Trump's border emergency declaration. On Tuesday, the Democratic-controlled House vote was reached 245 to 182. The National Emergencies Act allows Congress to revoke an emergency declaration by the President. According to Tribune News Service, the same law now requires the Senate to vote on the resolution within 18 days. Congress declined to fund Trump's border wall. It passed legislation that includes $1.375 billion for border barriers instead of the president's demanded $5.7 billion for a wall. Most of the concern is largely on what military construction projects will be affected to obtain the billions he wants for the wall. The Pentagon has maintained that they will not pull funding from housing projects on military bases. Many Senate Republicans plan to still support Trump's right to declare a national emergency. Trump declared a national emergency this month in order to obtain the money to fund his border wall. China's stocks have risen following news Sunday of a delay in increased tariffs on Chinese exports to the U.S. President Trump said in a Twitter post that he will delay the tariffs that were scheduled for March 1st. Trump tweeted, "Assuming both sides make additional progress, we will be planning a summit for President Xi and myself at Mar-a-Lago to conclude an agreement." According to CNBC, the Shanghai Composite soared 5.6%, sending the index back into bull market territory, or up more than 20% from a low touch in early January. A Chinese-run news agency pointed out on Monday, negotiations become more difficult the closer they get to the end. The chance thus causes greater uncertainty cannot be ruled out. The American Chamber of Commerce in China said on Monday it's pleased with the latest developments on trade, but what is common among all of our members is the desire to progress on the fundamental underlying issues, which will be necessary if a long-term solution is to be found. Beijing is increasing its efforts to improve intellectual property protection of higher value technologies. Tariffs have hit both Chinese and U.S. businesses. Details on a potential meeting between Trump and China's presidents were unclear. Pope Francis vowed to confront sex abusers within the church. At the conclusion of a major Catholic Church summit on Sunday, Francis met with 190 Catholic bishops and religious leaders from around the world. The focus of the 4-day meeting was on preventing clergy sexual abuse. Francis said, I would state clearly, if the church there should emerge even a single case of abuse, which is already in itself represents an atrocity, that case will be faced with the utmost seriousness. According to Fox News, a German cardinal claimed at the summit that the Catholic Church had destroyed records of sexual abuse. The summit was called by the Pope so that he could impress upon those called that clergy sex abuse is a global problem that threatens the mission of the Catholic Church. Plans to relocate a U.S. military base on the island of Okinawa will continue despite a vote against the move. Japan's Prime Minister has said the government took in the vote results seriously but couldn't delay the 20-year plan to move U.S. Marine Corps Air Station Futenima to a new location. According to BBC News, some 72% of voters in a non-binding poll opposed the construction of a new base to replace the one in Futenima. The Prime Minister said he hoped local residents would understand why their preference was overruled. Under a local ordinance, Okinawa governor is obliged to notify both Tokyo and Washington and respect the outcome. The Futenima base is located in an urban part of Okinawa. Washington wants to move the base to a more remote location. The head of an 800-year-old mummy nicknamed the Crusader was stolen from a historic church in Dublin, Ireland. A guide at the St. Michael's Church discovered the missing head as he was getting ready to open the site. Several other corpses were damaged, including a nun dating back 400 years. The Archdeacon of Dublin said, "They broke open that vault, it's a big, heavy steel door, and broke open one of the coffins. Parts of the contents of the coffin have been dragged out." According to NPR, the church is home to five crypts housing the mummified corpses of prominent Dubliners. The church was found in 1025 and a significant tourist spot with around 27,000 visitors annually. The site's tours have been canceled for now as they are worried that the broken vault with open air will damage mummies further. That's what's happening in the news world this week. Stay tuned for a sports update with Haley White when we return.
Take it.
The Tiger Media Network is Fort Hays State University's independent student media organization. It's a student employment opportunity where you can work for either the news side or the sports side. So you can be on live sports production, which produces all of the live sports broadcasts that we do, or you could be on the news side and do news stories covering things on campus, so presidential announcements, Student Government Association. We bring that news to the student community and the Hays community as well.
You don't realize how much Fort Hays State has to offer until you're here.
I mean, it is definitely, this is the land of opportunity here.
I just got back from the MIAA tournament in Kansas City a couple weeks ago where we worked with other production crews including Pitt State and Central Missouri. And it's a great time. I've gone there the last couple years.
For me anyway, I get to do sports, which is what I love. And if live productions is where that's at.
This is the perfect place to do it. We have almost everything that you could possibly imagine.
Tiger Media Network allows you the opportunity to take the skills you've learned and put them forward in a real world, real application setting that allows you to flourish and grow as a professional, and that will only help you and benefit you when you graduate and go into the real world workforce.
Hello Tigers, I'm Haley White bringing you a sports update. After collecting 2 Oklahoma wins and clinching the MIAA title outright, the FHSU women's basketball team will enter the final week of the regular season ranked 3rd in both national polls. The Tigers secured at least a share of the conference title after defeating Central Oklahoma 70-48 Thursday night. Junior Belle Barbieri led the Tigers in Edmond as she posted 11 points and 10 rebounds while recording her second double-double of her career. The team collected its 10th regular season championship in program history outright on Saturday after a 90-66 win over Northeastern State. Late points from junior Casey Kennett secured the Tiger win as the guard finished the night adding 23 points on the board. Barbieri completed the Oklahoma road trip in the same fashion she started by posting her second straight double-double as she recorded 10 points and 12 rebounds. The men split the road trip after collecting a 69-66 win over UCO and a 72-62 loss over Northeastern State. Senior Brady Worth was vital for the Tiger win as he scored 18 of his 22 points in the second half, going 7 of 12 from the field and 8 for 8 from the charity stripe. The forward matched his scoring efforts in the loss to Northeastern State, nearly securing a double-double with 18 points and 9 rebounds. A 14-0 Riverhawk run ultimately led the Fort Hays loss, dropping its conference record to 10-7. The Tigers will wrap up regular season play this week with 2 conference matchups at home before entering the MIAA tournament beginning March 6th in Kansas City. Fort Hays baseball drops the conference opener, losing all 3 games in the series to Missouri Western at the neutral location of Edmond, Oklahoma. Winter weather has forced the team to make changes to its schedule. Instead of playing at home this weekend, the Tigers will travel to play Southwest Baptist in Bolivar, Missouri in their 3-game conference set. Tiger softball has also fell victim to schedule changes as its doubleheader against Newman was postponed this week for a later date. The Tigers are set to compete in a doubleheader at Drury this weekend. Schedule changes are yet to be determined. 4 Tigers will be heading to compete in the NCAA D2 Indoor Track and Field Nationals as the qualifiers were announced on Tuesday. From the men's team, Brett Meyer, Colt Newell, and Philip Landrum will represent Fort Hays, as Rohei Singate will make a lone Tiger appearance for the women. Finishing second in the Nationals last season, Meyer enters the mile run with his best indoor time of 4:04.23. Ranking 10th in the high jump performance list, Newell will try to best his 6 feet 11-inch provisional mark. Landrum will compete in the 60-meter with his best time of 6.83 seconds. Singate qualified in the triple jump following her best distance of 39 feet and 9 3/4 inches. Fort Hays wrestler Brandon Ball earned his 3rd trip to the NCAA championships. The top-ranked 141-pounder secured his spot during regionals, going 24-0 on the year. Ball will nearly have a little over a week to prepare for the NCAA D2 National Championships taking place March 8th and 9th in Cleveland, Ohio. Former Fort Hays Tiger and Independence Community College head football coach Jason Brown announced his resignation early Monday after a report he referred himself as the new Hitler to a German player on the team.
Brown said this allegation has greatly diminished my ability to successfully do my job and has set this football program back significantly. In his announcement, Brown didn't admit to any wrongdoing that was previously reported. Brown was known for his role on the Netflix series Last Chance U, a show regarding JUCO football. The third season followed Brown in his ICC team around, while the head coach's explosive temper was the primary storyline of at least the first half of the season. It was reported that the series followed Brown's team for season 4, however, there are no releases on how his resignation will affect the production. The Kansas Jayhawks kept the 15th straight Big 12 title hopes alive during round 2 of the Sunflower Showdown Monday night as the Jayhawks topped Kansas State 64-49 in Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks trailed the league to the Wildcats by 1 game with 3 to play. Texas Tech is a game ahead of third-place KU in the lost column at 10-4, while Baylor is 9-5 entering the final 2 weeks of the season. On Monday, KU's Mitch Lightfoot scored 8 points in the first half in helping KU to a 34-27 lead at the break. He finished 3 of 5 from the field as KU improved to 29-0 under Coach Bill Self in ESPN Big Monday games played at Allen Fieldhouse. KU stretched its overall home winning streak on the Big Monday to 33 games. That concludes this episode. Tune in next week for another episode of TMNtv. And as always, to stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com. Until then, remember, roar Tigers!